So I do want to do this kind of in a game-by-game format, just because there's a lot of information going on today in general. So I think it's going to be the best way to go about doing it and the most useful for you guys. Now, this first game, I don't really think we are gaining a big edge in general. This really just tells me, if you guys watch my NFL DFS coverage, that if you guys are playing in that, you probably want to be on Owen Wright and Carlos Washington, a decent amount there. From there, we jump on into this Houston versus New York game. Now, this is a game in which the New York starters are supposed to play a few series. Will they give a lot of attention to Malik Neighbors in that game, who, was a little bit banged up? It's tough to see there as well. So to me, these first two games really not gaining a big edge there. Let's move on into the Cincinnati versus Chicago game. And I'll show you guys it using the PrizePicks board that we have. I am a little bit surprised at Kendrick Pryor's line at 16.5. He is someone that really came very close to scoring a touchdown in last week's game. Basically, had the same game as Jermaine Burton, except for Woodside threw a perfect pass to Burton for a touchdown. Kendrick Pryor, he just missed. Now, it was a little bit more of a difficult pass with Pryor, where Burton was just a straight go on the outside, just easy pass. I don't want to say easy. It was a great throw. But the one with Pryor, it was a deep post where he had to thread it in between a defender that was, one, on Pryor's hip, but also there was a linebacker across the middle. So you had to float it over there, have a perfect touch, almost hit on that play as well. The point that I'm making is the line should not be this difference. Now, I actually don't mind Burton as well. We can see Logan Woodside at 125.5 passing yards is someone that probably is going to play a lot. If he does play a lot, if that line is correct with Woodside, which I think it is, then both Burton and Pryor are going to play a decent amount in this game. I will say Tanner Hudson at 10.5 receiving yards. I don't know exactly how much he's going to play, and while they just bumped that up as I was doing this video, that's still probably too low if he is going to be playing a decent amount in this game. But at the same time, I don't know. For me, it doesn't make sense for him to get a lot of playing time. So maybe not one that you need to go in on. I actually had that at 8.5 at the start of the day, which I'm like, all right, that is like one catch for him maybe. And so I had to take that there. Now at 12.5, we do have to think about it, but not terrible. Again, I do like Kendrick Pryor there. Let's go ahead and jump on into the next game. Well, here, just real quick as well, while we're on the Bears, I don't mind Rome Odunze's prop line for his over here of 17.5. Like, that's not terrible. That's one you could certainly run out. If we look on Underdog, we'll see it's a little bit higher at 19.5. The Bears starters should play a few series in this one, so thus I don't mind that action there. Let's go ahead and jump into this game against Detroit and Kansas City. So in this game, the expectation is going to be that the Kansas City Chiefs starters are going to play a half of football. Don't be surprised if it's less than that. That's just kind of the maximum amount that they're going to play. And so to me, it is a little bit of a guessing game as to what's going to occur there. And because of that, I really don't think we're getting a massive edge there. So let's go ahead again and jump into this next game that we got here. We got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, I find the line that we're getting on Nick Mullins at 109.5 to be very interesting, not really for him, but for someone else on the team. That's going to be Jaron Hall at 80.5 pass yards. So chances are they're going to split the reps in this game. One's going to play a half, the other one's going to play a half. And so if that does occur, Jaron Hall potentially going up against more backups as well. It's interesting that his is at 80.5. Now, they did sign Matt Corral to potentially maybe take over the spot for Jaron Hall. I don't see that happening. And so I do think that that's a decent prop line difference that we have there that we could potentially really target there. And then while we're kind of on that game as well, I do want to call out that DTR, his passing yards is a little bit lower on PrizePicks. He is going to be on PICK6, sorry. He's going to be starting in that game. And so with him starting in that game, he probably will play a half of football. And so chances are he will get that over of 88.5. But I wanted to call that out to you guys if that is a bet that you want to make. Obviously, Michael Penix in the early game is one of the better prop bets that's currently popping up on PICK6. Not a big edge on PICK6 just yet today, just as an FYI. And so that kind of concludes all the prop bets that we are currently getting on Underdog. So we're going to go ahead and switch back over to PrizePicks. And guys, this is the tough part about giving preseason props content. I've been wanting to give it to you guys for every single slate that we've had. And they just haven't been giving us the prop bets early or at all for me to give you guys the coverage. And so it's been a little bit tilted there. So if you guys are enjoying this content, please give a like and subscribe. That does help out the channel a lot. Again, I wish I could be putting out more content for you guys, but I'm at the mercy of these companies here. So let's go ahead and kind of just go through the rest of the prop bets that are available on the PrizePicks board today and seeing if there's any that I like that I can call out. So again, if you guys are playing preseason NFL DFS, just note Tommy DeVito, 103.5 for his passing yards. That's a decent one. DTR. Wow, that's a big prop line advantage there, guys. So here we go. DTR on Pick6 now for sure. Now that this line is updated, what we want to do, bet is over on Pick6, bet is under on PrizePicks, hope for the middle. But that just tells you, again, that line that we're getting on Pick6 is very appealing. Wow, Sam Howell at 142.5. That is interesting. Stenson Bennett is going to be playing the full half or the full game potentially here, guys. And that's kind of crazy when we look at Howell to Bennett. Bennett, if he is going to be playing the full game, should be able to get 200 passing yards. He's not terrible. He just makes some terrible decisions. And so definitely an interesting line that we had there for him. Mike White might play a half of football. It's definitely an interesting line. I do want to call it with Logan Woodside. He does have the potential to play most of the game, maybe even all of the game. He should play at least 3/4 of football. I shouldn't say that, at least a half of football. And even still, I wouldn't mind that over there. Let's go ahead and get into some receiving yards that we have. And as I'm looking through this, there's really not much that I like. I would say most of these lines, as I'm scrolling through them, do seem to be correct. Jake Bobo is one that could have had a bigger game than he did. Just got missed a few times on some big plays. I don't mind that. Playing time should still be there for him. Mason Kinsey is someone that I do like, though, a decent amount. If you look at the depth chart for Tennessee, they're going to be pretty thin at the receiver position today, especially with a similar player in Kyle Phillips also going to be out in that game. Now, the biggest concern that I have with him, and you could potentially run out Jackson as well, who's been someone that's been getting a decent amount of hype out of camp, is the fact that Malik Willis is more of, I don't want to say he's more of a rush first quarterback, but he is a quarterback that can rush the football. And so that does kind of get me a little bit weary of using both of them. But the Titans are pretty banged up. They have somewhat-ish made it clear that these two are going to be the two that are going to get a decent amount of playing time. And so I don't mind those two. I think I'd be happy to run those out. From there, are we getting any other ones? I'm a little bit interested in the playing time for Winnington tonight. Jordan Winnington is someone that really went off, had a massive preseason game in week 1, really reminded me and probably a lot of others of Puka Nacua. And so my worry is that they're going to treat him like Puka Nacua and he won't play in this game. He might suit up. I kind of like the less, but if we're doing less for him than Xavier Smith and Sam, those are two players that played in over 50% of the snaps. Smith played in like 70. Sam played in like 58. Those two players could actually see a little bit more of an increase in playing time there. Let me go ahead and jump into the rush yards that we have. Right away, nothing too crazy. Okay, I do wish we had the rush receive yards a little bit more so here. And they're being smart about the lines that they are giving us, guys. There are some players that probably will get a little bit more playing time. Zach Evans is someone that should be able to get this over. He played in 42% of the snaps last week. Boston Scott played in 58%. That could flip. And if it does, he'd be not a terrible candidate to get the over. Kenny McIntosh really looked good. If he is someone that still gets a lot of playing time, I could see him getting this over as well. Not sure if I need to go in on that, but if you guys were trying to find another bet, that's not terrible. Mike Boone played a lot of snaps. Carolina's still pretty banged up as well. We got to see if Raheem Blackshear is going to play. He is someone that did not play last week, so that is something to note. And then another bet that I do want to call as well is going to be Eric Gray at 24.5 rush yards. He is someone that could play a significant amount in this game. Tyrone Tracy was seen getting off the bus today. He is someone that got injured during practice last week. He could play in this game. We got to see. But also Dante Miller, another backup for the Giants, is also a little bit banged up as well. We could be seeing a significant amount of Eric Gray. And the biggest thing about the Giants last week is that all the running backs look great. I think that is a testament to how well the line played, for one. Maybe it was an opponent based. Maybe the opponent just wasn't that good. But Eric Gray, he has the potential to play 60% of the snaps in this game, and he could really go off. So I don't mind that. But again, I think I'm kind of sticking with these ones here for my favorite ones right now. And again, DTR, we're trying to use that one because we can run the opposite of that on Pick6. So let's go ahead and show you guys the Pick6 board again. I just refreshed the data, so I'll show you guys that. And so again, a pretty decent prop line difference there for DTR. The move would be to bet is over here, and maybe we can find some other bets that we like. I'm not exactly seeing that just yet. Maybe Eric Gray for over 22.5 rush yards. That's not terrible. But maybe we get some more prop bets throughout the day that are better than that. But that's going to be all for this video, guys. If you guys want access to all the prop tools on 905sports.com, head on over to 905sports.com, available for just $10 a month. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck on the slate. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. Have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.